What if the universe isn't telling you stories but showing you its source code? What if every chaotic event in your life was not an accident, but the precise calculated result of a cosmic equation you were never taught how to read? We stumble through existence haunted by the phantom of chance, a ghost in the machine of our perception. This ghost is born from a profound and collective amnesia, a great forgetting of our own nature. It is a comforting lie, for it absolves us of a terrifying responsibility, allowing us to name our misfortunes bad luck and our triumphs good fortune, as if we were mere leaves in the wind. This belief in randomness has become the unquestioned religion of our time, and its primary symptom is a quiet, pervasive anxiety. We navigate our days as if adrift on a random sea, perpetually braced for the next unpredictable wave, believing ourselves to be subjects of a cosmic lottery, sometimes winning, often losing, always fundamentally powerless. But an ancient, hermetically sealed philosophy proposes a reality so radically different it borders on heresy. It whispers of an impeccable logic, a flawless, invisible algorithm running silently beneath the surface of everything. It claims that the universe does not play dice. It plays music, a perfect, intricate symphony of hidden order, where every note, from the birth of a galaxy to the silent forming of a thought, lands with divine and mathematical precision. What we are about to explore is not just a forgotten piece of history. It is an attempt to recover our cosmic hearing. It is a search for the tuning fork that will allow us to finally perceive the grand symphony we have long mistaken for the meaningless noise of chaos. This is the first step in deprogramming ourselves from the cult of coincidence. Consider the spiritual vertigo of the modern soul, the feeling of being out of sync with something vast and essential. This is the condition of a species trying to dance in a silent disco, going through the motions without hearing the rhythm that guides all things. We have become tonally deaf to the cosmos, and our sense of powerlessness is the direct result. We have forgotten the fundamental rules of existence, and so the game feels impossibly, cruelly rigged against us. But what if the rulebook was never destroyed, only hidden? Imagine existence not as a battlefield, but as a colossal tapestry. From our perspective here on the underside, all we see is a chaotic mess of tangled threads, knots, and loose ends. It looks random, ugly, and pointless. But on the other side, a breathtaking, coherent image is being woven. Every single thread, every color, every knot has its perfect place in the grand design. Synchronicity is when our fingers accidentally slip through the fabric and touch the perfect finished pattern on the other side for a brief, shocking moment. That shock is the soul's muscle memory. It is a jolt of electricity to a sleeping heart, a whisper that says, "You have seen this before. You know this pattern. This is home." These are not glitches in reality. They are echoes of a forgotten language. They are stray notes from the hidden symphony, momentarily breaking through the static of our disbelief, reminding us that a deeper, stranger, more beautiful logic is at play. A logic that was once understood, taught not in public squares, but in the quiet, resonant temples of a world long gone. A knowledge considered so potent, so reality-altering, that it was deemed volatile, a fire that could either illuminate or incinerate the unprepared mind. And so, it was sealed away. This is not a conspiracy. It is an act of cosmic quarantine. The truth was not hidden from us. It was protected for us. The existence of this hidden order changes everything. It reframes our lives from meaningless accidents into coherent, meaningful narratives. It suggests the universe is not indifferent but intelligently, intimately, and mathematically responsive. It reveals that we are not passive observers, but active essential participants, co-writers of our own verse in the epic poem of creation. To truly grasp why this ancient knowledge was sealed away, we must first perform an act of profound intellectual treason. We must fire our most trusted lifelong advisors. I am speaking, of course, of our five senses. For our entire lives, we have built our entire model of reality upon their testimony, trusting them implicitly as clear, infallible windows to an objective world. But this is the foundational error, the original sin of our materialist paradigm. Our senses are not windows. They are the most sophisticated prison guards ever conceived, what the philosopher Aldous Huxley called the reducing valve. Their primary function is not to reveal the infinite, overwhelming truth of reality, but to protect our fragile sanity from it by reducing the cosmic flood of information to a manageable, survivable trickle. This is the grand secret of our biology. Our brains did not evolve to perceive reality. They evolved to ignore almost all of it. Let us put this into stark, brutal perspective. Imagine all of reality is a library containing 10 million books. Our sense of sight, which we prize above all others, is permitted to read a single sentence on a single page of a single book. That is the electromagnetic spectrum. We are given access to less than 0.005% of the information flooding the cosmos. And from this microscopic sample, we audaciously claim to understand the nature of the entire library. Our sense of hearing is no better. The universe is screaming with a symphony of vibration, from the infrasonic groans of tectonic plates to the ultrasonic communications of the natural world. Yet we hear only a pathetic, mid-range sliver. Our sense of touch is perhaps the greatest liar of all. It reinforces the comforting fairy tale of solidity. We press our hand against a wall and declare it solid, while physics tells us it is 99.99999% empty space, a frantic dance of atomic nuclei held apart by repulsive force fields. Our very experience of solidity is a neurological construct, a useful illusion created by our brain to stop us from walking through walls. We live in a ghost world, and our senses are the very agents that maintain this grand, collective hallucination. This brings us back to the broadcast. If reality is an infinite ocean of frequencies, then the tuner is your state of consciousness. Your deep-seated beliefs, your emotional harmonics, your mental focus. These are the dials that determine which tiny fraction of reality's broadcast you are capable of receiving. A mind tuned to the frequency of fear will literally perceive and attract a reality filled with threats, confirming its own bias in a self-perpetuating feedback loop. A mind tuned to gratitude will find evidence of abundance everywhere. They are not two people with different opinions about the same world. They are two radio receivers standing side by side, tuned to two completely different stations, each experiencing a reality the other cannot even fathom. Even our language is a filter, forcing the infinite, fluid nature of existence into the clumsy, rigid boxes of nouns and verbs. We are trapped in a prison of perception, built by our senses and reinforced by our words. For centuries, this was the exclusive domain of mystics. But then, in the 20th century, our own science, the very tool we created to validate our materialist worldview, stumbled into the heart of the atom and promptly lost its mind. Quantum physics became the great scientific heresy. It shattered the comfortable, clockwork universe of Isaac Newton. Instead, it revealed a bizarre, ghostly, and participatory universe. The famous double-slit experiment showed that the fundamental particles of our world behave as a wave of all possibilities until the very moment they are observed. The act of looking, the act of conscious measurement itself, was found to be an integral part of the creative process. As the physicist John Wheeler famously put it, we live in a participatory universe. This is a reluctant rediscovery of a core hermetic truth. The universe, at its root, is not a collection of dead, separate objects. It is a single, living, interconnected field of consciousness, a universal mind, expressing itself at infinite vibrational levels. What we call matter is simply this consciousness, vibrating at a very low, very dense frequency. A thought held for so long it has crystallized into form. What we call a thought is that same consciousness, vibrating at a high, light, and subtle frequency. The stone, the star, and the soul are all made of the same intelligent, conscious essence. They are simply different notes in the one universal song. This is the profound paradox of our existence. We are infinite consciousness squeezed into a finite biological survival suit. And this suit comes with a pre-installed operating system, a user interface designed not for cosmic exploration, but for navigating the savannah. This interface is what we call linear time. We experience life as a sequence of past, present, and future, a single irreversible arrow. But what if this is just another grand illusion, a useful simplification? What if, as many ancient traditions and modern physicists like Carlo Rovelli suggest, time itself does not exist as a fundamental property of the universe? Imagine time not as a river that flows, but as a vast frozen lake. Every moment that has ever been and ever will be already exists simultaneously as a point on this infinite lake. Our consciousness, tethered to our biology, is like a tiny lantern, a spotlight, skating across the surface of this frozen lake in a single straight line. We illuminate one point at a time and call it the present, the trail of melted ice behind us. We call the past the infinite dark ice in front of us, we call the future. But the entire lake is already there, complete and whole. Our perception of flow is an artifact of our limited consciousness, not a property of the lake itself. This single idea, if truly absorbed, shatters our understanding of cause and effect, of memory, and of potential. If the future already exists in a state of potential, then intuition is not a magical guess. It is the act of our consciousness momentarily perceiving a point on the lake further down our current trajectory. A premonition is a glimpse of a potential future so powerful it sends a ripple back along the ice. Déjà vu is the strange, unsettling feeling of our lantern crossing a point on the lake that our soul has, in some other state, already visited. This reframes our entire human experience. We are not creating the future from nothing. We are selecting a future from an infinite menu of possibilities that already exist, and we make that selection with the frequency of our being, right here, in the eternal now. So if our senses deceive us and our science is only just catching up to the mystics, who were these ancient minds who mapped this participatory universe with such confidence? Our journey for answers takes us back, beyond the birth of modern religions, beyond the empires of Rome and Greece, into the fertile, sun-drenched silence of the Nile Valley. There, it is said, walked a figure, or perhaps a living consciousness, known as Hermes Trismegistus. The name itself is a key, a declaration of purpose. Trismegistus, the thrice great. This was not a title of ego, but a description of a complete cosmic curriculum. He was said to be great in his understanding of the physical cosmos, the laws of matter and stars, the first greatness. Great in his mastery of the inner mental realms, the alchemy of consciousness, the second greatness. And great in his connection to the divine source of all things, the unnameable one, the third and ultimate greatness. He was seen as a living bridge, a conscious fusion of two powerful archetypes. In him, the Egyptians saw their own Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe of the gods. But Thoth was far more than a scribe. He was the master of Hekau, or divine creative speech. He understood the esoteric principle that words and symbols do not merely describe reality. When spoken with the correct intention and vibration, they create it. He was cosmic order personified, the intelligence that weighed the hearts of the dead against the feather of Mahat, of truth, a profound metaphor for a consciousness that must be lighter than the burdens of its own illusions to ascend. In this same figure, the Greeks saw their own Hermes, the messenger of the gods, the god of the crossroads and the threshold. He was the guide of souls, the psychopomp, who could navigate the liminal spaces between life and death, consciousness and unconsciousness. Hermes Trismegistus, therefore, was not just a wise man. He was the personification of a complete spiritual process, the reception of divine ordered knowledge from the cosmos, Thoth, and its dynamic, skillful transmission to a seeking humanity, Hermes. This being was the legendary founder of the first mystery schools. These were not schools in any modern sense. The curriculum was reality itself, and the goal was not information, but direct, personal transformation, gnosis. Initiates chosen for their spiritual maturity, gathered in silent monolithic temples, engineered as resonant chambers that could alter consciousness. There, far from the noise of the profane world, they learned through direct experience. They learned that the cycles of the stars were not distant events but a celestial clockwork that mirrored the cycles of their own inner life. Above all, they were taught to look within, for the greatest temple was always the inner one, and the universe was its perfect, living reflection. But this knowledge, this sacred science, was never shouted from the rooftops. It was whispered, it was sealed, it was protected. This is the origin of the word hermetic. This secrecy was not born of elitist arrogance, but of a profound and sobering wisdom. The Hermetic masters understood that spiritual truth is a form of fire. In the hands of a prepared and stable mind, it is a source of light, warmth, and creation. But in the hands of an unstable, ego-driven mind, that same fire becomes a destructive, all-consuming conflagration. They knew that an unprepared mind does not receive truth, it distorts it. It turns liberating philosophy into rigid, controlling dogma. It twists the tools of self-mastery into weapons of manipulation. The secrecy was an act of profound compassion to protect both the purity of the wisdom and the well-being of those not yet ready to handle its power. As the KYBALION states, the lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. The truth was not hidden from people. It was protected for them, waiting in a state of potential until the soul of the seeker was mature enough to become a worthy vessel. The tragic truth is that these schools, these lighthouses of esoteric knowledge, did not last forever. The burning of the great library of Alexandria was not merely an act of war. It was an act of cultural and spiritual genocide, a deliberate extinguishing of this holistic worldview. The knowledge was deemed heretical by the rising tide of dogmatic, literalist religions. But truth is not so easily destroyed. While the temples crumbled and the scrolls burned, the Hermetic wisdom became an underground river of thought, a secret stream flowing beneath the surface of Western history. Its core teachings survived in fragments, most notably in a collection of texts known as the Corpus Hermeticum. These dialogues, supposedly records of Hermes' own teachings, were lost to Europe for centuries but were painstakingly preserved and studied in the Islamic world. Their explosive re-emergence in 15th century Florence marked a pivotal moment in human consciousness. Cosimo de' Medici, the great patron of the Renaissance, instructed his chief scholar, Marsilio Ficino, to stop translating the works of Plato and immediately focus on this newfound Hermetic wisdom. Why? Because they believed it was a prisca theologia, a pristine, original theology that predated all other religions, offering a direct line to the divine without the need for intermediaries. This rediscovery sent a shockwave through the intellectual and spiritual landscape of Europe. It fueled the Renaissance obsession with alchemy, which was not just about turning lead into gold, but about using the principles of nature to perfect the human soul. It inspired the secret societies of the Rosicrucians, who sought to blend esoteric Christianity with Hermetic science. It flowed through the veins of the world's greatest artists, scientists, and philosophers, from Leonardo da Vinci to Isaac Newton, who spent more of his life studying alchemy than he did physics. This underground river of Hermetic thought is the secret history of the Western mind, a continuous hidden lineage of those who dared to believe that we were not just fallen creatures in a dead world, but divine co-creators in a living, mental cosmos. This ancient cosmic blueprint isn't just a story of forgotten gods and secret societies. It is a living, breathing system of communication. The universe is in a constant dialogue with you, every single day. It doesn't speak in human language, but in the subtle, symbolic language of experience. We just need to learn how to recognize the signals, to see the patterns in the static. The first and most electrifying signal is synchronicity. You felt it. You think of an old friend you haven't seen in years, and moments later they call you. You're wrestling with a specific difficult problem, and the precise answer appears in a random book you open, a billboard you pass, or a conversation you overhear between strangers. Our rational mind, trained in the dogma of randomness, dismisses these moments as mere coincidence, a statistical anomaly. But the Hermetic tradition sees them for what they are, moments of perfect, meaningful alignment. They are glimpses of the cosmic machinery at work, where the inner world of your thoughts and the outer world of events momentarily converge, revealing the intelligent script that runs beneath the surface of things. Synchronicity is the universe winking at you, a flare of meaning in the perceived darkness, confirming that your personal frequency is, for that moment, perfectly in tune with the universal broadcast. But what about when you're not in the flow? The universe doesn't abandon you. It simply changes its method of communication. It sends you patterns. Think about the recurring cycles in your life, the archetypal dramas that play out on the stage of your existence. The same kind of relationship that always begins with intoxicating hope and always ends in the same painful way. The same financial struggle that seems to reappear like a season, no matter how hard you work. The same argument that plays out with different people, with a different script, but with the same underlying emotional charge. These are not signs of failure or bad luck. They are echoes. Imagine you are in a room, and a specific dissonant note is playing from a hidden speaker inside of you. The universe, in its wisdom, doesn't just tell you the note is wrong. It sends people and situations into the room that resonate with that exact frequency over and over again. It is not a punishment. It is a diagnostic tool of infinite patience. The repeating pattern is a loving, persistent message. Look here. The cause is not out there in the world. The cause is the frequency you are holding within. Change the inner note, and the outer symphony must by law change with it. Then there is the quietest, most powerful signal of all, intuition. That gut feeling, that inexplicable sense of knowing without knowing why. The sudden illogical urge to take a different route home, only to later discover you avoided a massive traffic jam or an accident. The immediate, unspoken sense of trust in a stranger, or the profound feeling of unease around someone everyone else adores. This is not a psychological quirk or a fanciful guess. It is your consciousness operating at its intended capacity, perceiving reality on a vibrational level, just as your ears perceive sound. It is your inner receiver picking up on the subtle energetic signatures of people and events before they manifest into the dense physical world your eyes can see and touch. Society has taught us to worship the analytical mind, the processor of old data, while dismissing intuition. It is funny how we have been taught to trust the part of us that can only analyze the past, while ignoring the part that can sense the emergent future. Beyond these primary signals, the universe communicates in even subtler ways. Consider the phenomenon of symbolic resonance. You begin a new chapter in your life, perhaps one focused on personal freedom, and you suddenly start seeing eagles or soaring birds everywhere you go. You are wrestling with a decision about deep-seated emotional patterns, and you find yourself repeatedly encountering images of snakes, the ancient symbol of shedding skin and transformation. These are not hallucinations. The birds and snakes were likely always there, but your consciousness, now tuned to that specific archetypal frequency, begins to notice them. The outer world organizes itself around your inner state, highlighting the symbols that are most relevant to your current journey. The universe essentially turns your daily life into a living tarot card reading, constantly offering you symbols that reflect your own inner landscape back to you. We also experience the philosophical jolt of déjà vu, that strange, undeniable feeling of reliving a moment. As we've touched upon, science calls it a memory error, a simple misfiring of neurons. But what if it's not an error? What if it's a signal from another layer of time? A hint that our linear perception is a profound simplification of a much more complex, layered reality. A reality where all moments exist simultaneously, and for a split second the veil thins, and we feel the resonance of a moment we have, on some other level, already experienced. And finally, there is the lightning bolt of epiphany, those sudden, profound moments of insight that arrive fully formed, often when we least expect them, in the shower, on a walk, just before falling asleep. These are not the products of a logical, step-by-step thought process. They feel like downloads, like a complete file of understanding has been transferred directly into our minds from a source beyond our everyday ego. This is the universe responding to a deeply held question, bypassing the analytical mind entirely, and delivering the answer directly to our core consciousness. These are not your thoughts. They are thoughts you have managed to receive. All of these signals, from the loudest synchronicity to the quietest epiphany, are the irrefutable evidence that you are living not in a dead, random machine, but within an intelligent, responsive, and deeply meaningful cosmos. The experience of being human is not a monologue. It is a dialogue with reality itself. And once you begin to truly listen, the conversation becomes the greatest adventure of all. We've followed the signals. We've seen the evidence of an intelligent order in the synchronistic flashes and the repeating patterns of our lives. We have learned to listen to the whispers of intuition. But this raises a much deeper, more unsettling question. What is the fundamental nature of the system that produces these signals? What kind of universe operates not on chance, but on meaning and resonance? This line of inquiry leads us to the single most profound, most challenging, and most liberating secret of the Hermetic tradition. It is the master key that unlocks all other principles, the central axiom upon which all of creation rests. It is the first Hermetic principle, a statement so simple it is almost impossible to truly grasp. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Let that statement land for a moment. This is not a metaphor. It is not a poetic flourish. It is presented as a literal description of reality's operating system. It suggests that everything we perceive, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're watching, the stars in the night sky, the very thoughts running through your head right now, all of it exists within the infinite living mind of a cosmic consciousness, a consciousness the ancients simply called the All. Imagine you are inside a vast, intelligent dream. This dream is not chaotic or nonsensical like our nightly wanderings. It is perfectly coherent, structured by immutable laws and filled with breathtaking complexity. Within this cosmic dream, a mountain is a dense, slow, stable thought. A beam of light is a rapid, energetic thought. Your body is a complex bundle of interconnected thoughts. And your consciousness? Your precious individual sense of I? You are a focal point of awareness within the mind of the dreamer. This is the ultimate paradigm shift, the final deconstruction. It dissolves the illusion of separation between the observer and the observed, between inside and outside. You are not a separate entity looking at the universe. You are a thought that the universe is thinking. You are the cosmos experiencing itself from a unique and precious point of view. This changes the very definition of who you are. What if you are not a noun but a verb? Not a fixed object but a process of becoming? In a mental universe, thoughts are not just passive internal events that flicker and die. They are things. They are real forces. Every sustained thought, every deep-seated belief, every focused intention is a vibrational seed planted in the fertile, creative ground of the cosmic mind. It is a command sent to the source code of existence. It is like living inside a divine supercomputer, where your consciousness is the keyboard, and your focused, feeling-infused intention is the enter key. The universe doesn't judge the code you write, it simply unfailingly runs the program. But here is the final soul-shattering twist that elevates this from a philosophy of manifestation to a profound spiritual cosmology. We think we have thoughts. What if, on a deeper level, thoughts have us? What if a great idea, a burning desire, a creative inspiration is not something you generate from nothing, but is, in itself, a form of consciousness, a signal from a potential reality that already exists, fully formed, in the infinite mind of the all. A reality that is vibrating, waiting, calling out for a conscious mind, a human soul, to tune into its specific frequency and serve as the channel, the conduit, through which it can manifest into our shared collective dream. This reframes the entire concept of inspiration and purpose. An artist doesn't make up a masterpiece. They become a clear enough channel to receive a masterpiece that already exists in the imaginal realm. A scientist doesn't invent a breakthrough out of thin air. They quiet their own mental noise enough to perceive a cosmic truth that has always been there, waiting to be discovered. That aha moment is not you thinking. It is the universe thinking through you. If this is true, then you are not just a dreamer. You are a conduit for dreams. You are not just a creator. You are a co-creator, a partner in a divine dance of manifestation. Your life's purpose is not something you must invent, but something you must learn to listen for. The most important question then is no longer what do I want to create in the world. It becomes a set of much deeper, more resonant questions. What reality, already existing in the infinite library of the cosmos, is asking to be created through me? What signal am I built to receive? And most crucially, what parts of myself must I heal, purify, and release to stop broadcasting static and finally become a worthy channel for that signal? To truly accept the idea of a mental universe, even as a philosophical possibility, is to stand at a terrifying and exhilarating precipice. On one side lies the ultimate liberation from the chains of circumstance. On the other lies a weight of personal responsibility so profound it can be paralyzing. The first and most immediate casualty of this awakening is the concept of victimhood. It dissolves completely, like a phantom in the morning sun. If the outer world is a direct, lawful reflection of the inner, then there is no one and nothing to blame for the persistent patterns of your life. Every experience, every challenge, every joy is a mirror, not an accident. The world is not happening to you. It is responding from you. This is often the hardest final boss to beat in the game of spiritual growth. It means taking absolute, radical ownership. The recurring conflict at work, the persistent lack in your finances, the emotional distance in your relationships, they are not random afflictions. They are the lawful harvest of seeds planted, consciously or unconsciously, in the sacred garden of your own mind. To blame the soil for the taste of the fruit is a fool's errand. The universe is not punishing you. It is merely showing you your own reflection with perfect, unwavering, and sometimes brutal honesty. This realization brings with it an immediate and urgent duty, the practice of what could be called mental hygiene or conscious alchemy. If every thought is a real force, if every sustained belief is an architectural instruction sent to the cosmos, then your inner world is no longer a private playground for idle fantasies and grievances. It becomes a sacred workshop, a laboratory where realities are born. What are you allowing to grow in that space? Are you cultivating gardens of resentment, forests of fear, swamps of self-pity? Or are you consciously, deliberately tending to the seeds of clarity, compassion, and courage? In a mental universe, there is no such thing as an idle thought. Every inner conversation is a prayer, an affirmation you are sending to reality. The universe is always listening, and its only answer is, so be it. This leads to the great ethical challenge of the awakened soul. How do you interact with others, knowing they too are divine thoughts dreaming within the same cosmic mind? It suggests that true compassion is not a moral choice or a sentimental feeling, but an act of profound metaphysical perception. It is the recognition that the person in front of you, the one who angers you, the one who inspires you, the one who breaks your heart, is another I, or they are another focal point of the same universal consciousness, playing out their own story, wrestling with their own shadows, broadcasting their own inner state for all to see. To consciously harm another is, therefore, an act of cosmic insanity. It is to throw a stone into the shared waters of the cosmic mind, sending out ripples of discord that will, by law, inevitably return to your own shore. The true master, the hermetic initiate, understands this perfectly. Their power is not the power to control the world. It is the power to master themselves. They do not bend the universal laws to their will. They align their will so perfectly with the universal laws that the universe flows effortlessly through them. They become a clean channel. This is the ultimate act of creation. It is the acceptance of your role as a conscious, responsible co-creator of reality. This is the crucial difference between the ancient art of mental alchemy and the modern, often superficial practice of positive thinking. Positive thinking attempts to paint over a cracked and rotting wall with a thin layer of bright paint. It is an act of suppression, of denying the shadow. Mental alchemy, on the other hand, is the courageous work of a master artisan who goes into the foundations of the house. It is the work of finding the cracked beams of limiting beliefs, of acknowledging the rot of old traumas, and consciously choosing to rebuild from the ground up. It does not deny the existence of negative thoughts or emotions. On the contrary, it sees them as raw, unrefined materials. The Hermetic alchemist knows that emotions are the fire that fuels creation. A thought, by itself, is merely a blueprint. It is the focused, sustained emotion, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that provides the energetic charge, the vibrational fuel, to impress that blueprint onto the mind of the all. This is why simply repeating affirmations without feeling their truth is like trying to start a car with a dead battery. It doesn't work. The alchemist learns to consciously generate the feeling state of the reality they wish to create, even and especially when the external world shows no evidence of it. This is not delusion, it is creation. It is the art of using the inner fire of emotion not to react to the old reality, but to forge the new one. It means learning to hold the vibration of peace in the middle of chaos, the vibration of abundance in the face of lack, the vibration of love when confronted with fear. This is the great and difficult work, the magnum opus, of the awakened soul. We arrive at the final threshold, standing in the vibrating heart of the great mystery. We have accepted, at least for this journey, that the universe is not a machine, but a mind. We have understood that we are not victims of chaos, but conscious co-creators of our reality. We have shouldered the profound and sobering responsibility that this knowledge entails. And now we must ask the final echoing question that sits at the pinnacle of all philosophy and spirituality. Why? Why this elaborate dream? Why this cosmic stage, filled with such breathtaking joy and such gut-wrenching sorrow, with blinding light and suffocating shadow? If the all is a perfect, unified, and complete consciousness, why would it project a universe of apparent separation, limitation, and forgetfulness? Why would a perfect mind dream of imperfection? The ancient Hermetic texts, along with wisdom traditions from around the world, offer a clue, a tantalizing, beautiful, and ultimately soul-affirming possibility. They suggest that consciousness, in order to know itself, requires a mirror. The all, in its state of perfect, undifferentiated unity, is everything, but it cannot know that it is everything. There is no other for it to relate to. To know itself, it must become both the painter and the painting, the musician and the music, the dreamer and the dream. It must fracture its own infinite unity into countless finite points of view, sending them out into the grand illusion of separation to explore, to learn, to feel, to suffer, to triumph, and to grow. From this transcendent perspective, We are not just thoughts within the cosmic mind. We are the very sensory organs of that mind. We are the universe's way of feeling the warmth of a sun, of hearing a symphony, of knowing the sting of heartbreak, of experiencing the thrill of courage. We are the focal points through which the all explores the infinite facets of its own boundless being. We are its nerve endings, its artists, its explorers. Our individual lives, with all their triumphs and tragedies, are not punishments or rewards. They are the curriculum of the soul. Each challenge is a cosmic question, and our response, the way we choose to think, feel, and act in the face of that challenge, is the unique answer we contribute to the universal understanding. The purpose of life, then, is not merely to accumulate wealth or fame, nor is it simply to find personal happiness. The ultimate purpose is to awaken, to remember who and what we truly are, to consciously move from being an unconscious reactive thought in the cosmic dream to becoming a lucid dreamer, a soul who is aware of its divine nature and capable of consciously, lovingly participating in the ongoing act of creation. The journey from ignorance to wisdom, from fear to love, from separation to unity. This is the great cosmic adventure. This is the masterpiece being painted across the infinite canvas of eternity. Every single soul that awakens adds a new color, a new depth, a new note of sublime beauty to the whole. And so, you are left with a final profound choice. You can hear these words, feel the resonance of this truth, and then allow the noise of the world to lull you back to sleep. You can continue to believe you are a victim of chaos, a ship tossed on a random sea, or you can accept the invitation. You can begin the great work of becoming the master of your inner world, the alchemist of your own consciousness. You can choose to live as if your every thought matters, as if your every action echoes in eternity, as if you are what you truly are, a fragment of divinity on a sacred mission to remember itself. This is the essence of the Hermetic path. It is not a religion to be believed, but a reality to be experienced. It is the ultimate hunt for the ultimate mystery, the self, and the trail of clues is not hidden in some forgotten desert or ancient tomb. It is waiting for you in the silence between your thoughts, in the rhythm of your own heart, in the unwavering gaze of your own reflection, beckoning you to remember the dreamer, and in so doing, to finally, truly, wake up. Like this journey? Hit subscribe for more mysteries, and that's our hunt for now. A wild mix of documented history and tantalizing what-ifs based on bibliographical sources. What do you think?